Most people think growing your own fruit takes a yard, an orchard, and years of waiting. It doesn't. A single pot on a balcony can outproduce a backyard tree if you pick the right 15. These are dwarf fruit trees, bred to stay small and fruit-heavy, full harvests from a container on a patio, a fire escape, a doorstep. Some of them will surprise you. One is technically radioactive, one is pollinated by a wasp that dies inside the fruit. And number 1 keeps producing for decades from a pot smaller than a bucket. Let's start the list. Number 15, the dwarf Cavendish banana. A regular banana plant towers to 20 feet. This one stops at 6, a genetic dwarf built for a pot. Give it a heavy 15-gallon container, rich, slightly acidic soil, and the hottest corner you have, and in 12 to 15 months it sends up a single purple flower that swells into a full stalk of fruit. Here's what almost nobody tells you. The banana isn't a tree at all. It has no wood. It's the largest perennial herb on Earth, a stem made of tightly packed leaves, and because Cavendish bananas are loaded with potassium-40, they're measurably radioactive, enough that shipping crates of them set off radiation detectors at international ports. You're not just growing fruit, you're growing the only radioactive thing you'll happily eat. Speaking of plants that break the rules, number 14 doesn't even open its flowers until the sun goes down. Number 14, dragon fruit. A climbing cactus that produces neon pink, alien-looking fruit on your patio. It needs a wide 15-gallon pot, a 4-foot post to climb, and fast-draining cactus soil. Wet feet rot it instantly. But the strange part is the flower. Dragon fruit blooms only at night. Dinner plate-sized white flowers burst open in the dark to attract their real pollinator, nectar-feeding bats, and if nothing pollinates them, they wilt and drop by mid-morning. No bats on your balcony? Then you become the bat. A small makeup brush before dawn, moving pollen by hand, is the difference between a bare vine and a heavy harvest. Number 13 looks just as exotic, but its leaves do something at sunset you have to see to believe. Number 13, the dwarf star fruit. A compact tropical evergreen that throws off clusters of waxy golden fruit you slice into perfect edible stars. Put it in a 15-gallon pot of rich, slightly acidic soil, keep it in full sun and out of the wind, and a mature dwarf gives you multiple flushes of fruit through late summer and autumn. But watch the leaves at sunset. Star fruit leaves fold themselves up tight every night, a sleep posture called nyctinasty, and reopen only when the morning sun returns. And one warning the supermarket never prints: star fruit carries a neurotoxin that's harmless to healthy people but can be dangerous to anyone with serious kidney disease. Number 12 hides a darker secret in its sap. It's a far closer relative to poison ivy than you would ever guess. Number 12, the dwarf mango. Compact varieties like Pickering, bred to fruit heavily in a pot instead of growing into a 60-foot monster. Use a deep, heavy 15-gallon container, a fast-draining mix, and the most blistering sun you have. Mangoes hate wet feet, so let the soil dry out between deep soakings. Buy a grafted dwarf, never a grocery store seed, or you'll grow that 60-foot tree by accident. Here's the secret in the sap: the mango belongs to the same plant family as poison ivy. Its skin and stems carry urushiol, the exact compound that gives poison ivy its rash, which is why some people's lips react to a fresh-cut mango. Number 11 single-handedly built a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it has nothing to do with the fruit. Number 11, the dwarf Everbearing mulberry. Standard mulberries hit 40 feet and crack foundations, but this dwarf, grown in a 15-gallon fabric bag, stays small because the breathable fabric air prunes the roots and keeps it permanently compact. Water it through summer and it produces continuous waves of sweet, blackberry-like fruit from late spring right up to the first frost. The dark berries carry resveratrol, the same anti-aging antioxidant found in red wine. But here's the fact: mulberry leaves are the only thing a silkworm will eat. The entire global silk industry, billions of dollars, thousands of years old, rests on this one tree. Take it away and the silkworms starve. Number 10 can do something for your sleep that no pill bottle will admit. Number 10. The dwarf bush cherry. Forget the towering cherry trees that take a decade to fruit. These shrubs top out at 4 feet and crop fast in a 7-gallon fabric bag. Most cherry trees need a second, different tree nearby to pollinate. These are 100% self-fruitful, so a single pot gives you a full harvest, and the payoff is in the fruit. Tart cherries are one of the only natural food sources of melatonin, the hormone that runs your sleep cycle, which is why a handful before bed can genuinely help you sleep. Number 9 is a superfruit so fussy about its soil that a pot is the only way most people will ever grow it. Number 9, the Dwarf Blueberry. Blueberries are almost impossible in ordinary garden soil. They demand acid, a pH between 4 and 5, which is exactly why a container is the cheat code. You control the soil completely. Use a 5-gallon fabric bag, a peat and pine bark mix, full sun, and water it with rainwater, because tap water slowly destroys the acidity. The reward is anthocyanins, the pigment that makes them blue, linked to slower cognitive decline and a healthier aging brain. And a quiet fact, blueberries are one of the only major food crops native to North America. Indigenous tribes guarded the wild patches and used the berries as dye. Number 8 gives you that same antioxidant power, with none of the thorns that make its cousin a nightmare. Number 8. The Dwarf Thornless Blackberry. Wild blackberries are aggressive, thorn-covered monsters that take over a yard. This one stays a compact, completely thornless bush in a 5-gallon pot. 8 hours of sun, rich acidic soil, and you harvest fat blackberries bare-handed without losing a single drop of blood. The dark pigment is loaded with anthocyanins. And botanically, the twist, a blackberry isn't actually a berry at all. It's an aggregate fruit. Every juicy bump is its own tiny separate fruit with its own seed. Number 7 fruits 365 days a year and tastes backwards. Number 7, the Calamondin, a miniature citrus that can carry hundreds of tiny bright orange fruits at once on a single balcony plant. Give it a 10-gallon fabric bag, fast-draining citrus mix, 8 hours of sun, and a strict wet and dry watering cycle. The astonishing part, Calamondins are truly everbearing, fragrant white blossoms and ripe fruit at the same time, 365 days a year. And the flavor is inverted from every other citrus. The bright orange skin is shockingly sweet, while the juice inside is violently sour, so you eat the whole thing unpeeled to balance it. Number 6 survives a freeze that kills every other citrus on the planet. Number 6, the Kumquat, the Nagami variety, a small, elegant evergreen that explodes with bright orange, olive-shaped fruit and crops in the dead of winter when everything else is dormant. Planted in a deep 7-gallon pot with a slightly acidic citrus mix and full sun. 2 facts set it apart. First, you eat it skin and all, and the skin is the sweet part. Second, it's the most cold-hardy citrus on Earth. While an orange tree dies instantly in a freeze, a mature kumquat goes dormant and survives down to 18 degrees Fahrenheit without damage. Number 5 packs 4 times the vitamin C of an orange, and its leaves were once packed into open wounds. Number 5, the Dwarf Guava, fast-growing varieties like Ruby Supreme that pump out intensely sweet perfumed fruit from a 10-gallon fabric bag. Give it worm castings, coarse sand, and the most blistering corner you have. Guavas need extreme heat to build their sugar. You'll know it's ripe when the whole patio fills with a thick, musky perfume. A single raw guava carries nearly 4 times the vitamin C of a large orange, one of the best immune fruits you can grow, and the leaves are so powerfully antibacterial that South American herbalists crush them and pack them straight into open wounds to stop bleeding and prevent infection. Number 4 will literally start digesting you while you eat it. Number 4, the pineapple. People assume you need a plantation, but a pineapple is a compact bromeliad with a tiny, shallow root system that's perfectly happy in a 5-gallon terracotta pot of poor, sandy soil. You don't even need to buy a plant. Twist the spiky crown off a grocery store pineapple, strip the base, and press it into the sand. It takes 2 to 3 years for a single golden fruit, and patience. Now the fact. Raw pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme so powerful it digests protein, which means while you're eating the pineapple is eating you back, breaking down the soft tissue of your tongue and cheeks. That tingle is real. Number 3 was known to the ancient world as the fruit of the dead. Number 3, the dwarf pomegranate, Punica granatum nana, an ancient shrub that throws fiery red trumpet flowers and hundreds of miniature jewel-filled fruits while staying tiny. Treat it like a desert survivor, a heavy 5-gallon terracotta pot, gritty alkaline soil, blistering sun, and a deep soak only when it's nearly bone dry. The arils are loaded with punicolagens, antioxidants studied for lowering blood pressure and supporting heart health. And the legend. In Greek myth, this was the fruit of the dead. Persephone ate 6 seeds in the underworld and was bound there 6 months of every year, which is how the ancients explained winter itself. Number 2 breaks the rule that you can't grow full-sized fruit on a tiny tree. Number 2, the genetic dwarf nectarine. This isn't a normal tree grafted onto small roots. It's a true genetic dwarf that tops out at 5 feet but grows full-sized, full-flavored stone fruit. Use a heavy 15-gallon pot for the sheer weight, because a fruit-laden top can tip a light container in the wind. Keep the water deep and steady at fruit set, or the tree panics and drops every unripe nectarine. Here's the fact that surprises people. A nectarine and a peach are the exact same species. The only difference between them is a single recessive gene, the one that controls the fuzzy skin. A nectarine is just a peach that lost its fuzz. And number 1, the best of all of them, keeps producing for decades and hides its flowers where you will never see them. And number 1, the dwarf fig, the little Miss Figgy. Standard figs grow 30 feet with roots that crush pipes, but this dwarf gives you sticky gourmet figs from a tight 5-gallon terracotta pot, and that tightness is the secret. Figs fruit hardest when their roots are restricted, so the cramped pot literally forces the tree to stop growing and start producing. Water it hard, then let it dry completely. Let the figs ripen until they droop and leak a single drop of honey from the bottom. Now the strangest fact on this entire list, a fig isn't really a fruit, and it has no visible flowers. The flowers grow inside, sealed in the pod you eat. Ancient figs could only be pollinated by a single species of wasp that crawls in through a microscopic hole, pollinates the flowers from the inside, and dies there, and the fig digests her with an enzyme as it ripens. Every wild fig was, in a sense, sealed around its pollinator. And from a pot smaller than a bucket, this little tree keeps doing it for decades. That's your list. 15 fruit trees, no land required, every one small enough for a balcony, and strange enough to be worth growing. Build even 3 of these into pots on a patio, and you've got fresh fruit most of the year from a footprint the size of a doormat. Tell me which one you'd plant first, and subscribe. Next time, the 15 vegetables and herbs that do the exact same thing.